Hi everyone, it's me, Tim. Today I want to talk about marketing. I have a love-hate relationship with marketing. And I'm going to talk about that. And I kind of need to break it up. Part of it is I've loved working with some marketing folks, and I haven't loved working with some marketing folks, and I've loved some marketing campaigns that have been done, and I haven't loved some marketing campaigns that have been done. And I just want to talk about marketing kind of in general. Now, I'm on record as saying I liked the marketing that was done for the Outer Worlds. I've got a video that I'll link below called Marketing the Outer Worlds. What I loved about that, a quick summary, is the people I got involved with, which was, Private Division and the parent company, Take-Two. And then they brought in a really cool company to do the trailers. The name of the company was Buddha Jones. These people got the game. And by that, I mean they actually took the time to watch playthrough of the game, to talk to us, to talk to different people on the team, and they understood the game being made. And then they took the time, worked with great people, got us great music, put together great trailers. And I think what I loved about it was not only were they good to work with, and it's really good to work with people who get the game you're making, but at one point I even told them that because The Outer Worlds was a game with a lot of humor in it, they had to go the extra mile to understand that humor. And it did. It took a while, but once they got it, they got it. And I felt like the trailers for The Outer Worlds did capture the essence of The Outer Worlds. And let me just tell you that if you're planning to make a game, don't dismiss marketing. Marketing is absolutely necessary these days to sell your game. There are so many games out there. There are a ton of publishers, there's a ton of indies, there's a ton of storefronts, there are a ton of games in every genre. There are just so many games. And as I've mentioned, because of game engines like Unity and Unreal and Godot and GameSalad, that the barrier to entry is incredibly low. There are people out there that are making games by themselves. One-person games that look really good, that play really good, and do really well. All of this is great. It's great for you, but how do you find these games? I've talked about how discoverability is so hard these days. Well, that's where marketing comes in. A good marketing campaign will connect the people who want to play your game with your game. So why do I hate marketing sometimes? Marketing can really, really rub me the wrong way. The biggest problem I've had with marketing people is that they don't really understand the game that I'm making, and they don't even try. Now, I get it. For some of the places I've worked, there were just people who were overwhelmed. There were so many games being put out that they didn't have a lot of time to spend on each individual game. I get that. Doesn't mean I like the work they did. If you do bad work and your excuse is you were under pressure, I understand it. I still don't like your work. And so because of that, there have been advertising campaigns for my games that I haven't liked. And I even talked about this when I have a video about the Fallout 1 and 2 covers. And I talked about how there was this marketing person who just spat tropes at my face. He just spat things at me like, here are the rules. And in that case, he said covers have to have faces on them. They just have to. He goes, you don't understand. You can't have power armor helmet. You got to show the person's face underneath. And like I said in that video, the whole time he's telling me that, I'm looking at the box for Descent, Interplay's best-selling game in 1996, the year before Fallout came out, that just has a blue ball on the cover. And what I quickly learned was marketing people love to talk about all these rules. And to me, coming from hard science, engineering, computer science, these aren't rules. They're not hard and fast. They're not even like soft science rules like biology or psychology. These rules change all the time. Just go back 20, 30 years and look how products were sold, and now look how they're sold now. They're not sold the same way. The rules change because the rules are just made up. And they have a purpose to them. They're trying to spin your game to make people want to buy them, and people's taste change, so therefore the rules have to change with it. But the problem with them spinning the game, especially if they don't understand the game that's being made, is they often tout the wrong things about your game. They try to show an RPG as an action game, or they try to show a game as a mystery or a thriller, and it's not. That's not the main thing about the game. And if they had taken a little time, they probably could have made a really good advertising campaign that talked about the things that were really appropriate. But for whatever reason, budget, time pressure, whatever, you frequently get marketing campaigns that are kind of phoned in. And just as a caveat, sometimes I've been involved in my games marketing a lot more and a lot less. I mean, it's been varying degrees. Sometimes my entire involvement in a marketing campaign was being brought in to see an ad when it's already done, and they're just asking for my sign-off. And often my sign-off is only like, is everything spelled correctly? Are these actual screenshots? That kind of thing. So as I kind of went through my career, I kind of started viewing marketing like I do insurance. You need it, but there's a lot of things about both of them that I don't like. Both of them involve legal stereotyping, that they literally stereotype people, and they can do it, and they argue they have to do it. The example with car insurance that just gets me to this day is I was surprised. I've talked about how my first game job was when I was 16. Well, my mom we had a second car that I could use to drive to my game job in the afternoon after high school, but my mom needed to put me on the insurance, and we met with the insurance guy who had done all of my brothers and sisters before me, and it was a lot of money. And my mom was like, I don't understand, he's a straight A student, he's never had a car accident, he'll be driving on off hours, I won't be driving during rush hour or anything. And he just said, he's a teenage boy, teenage boys drive badly. Now, I was a good driver, but most teenage boys aren't, and I paid for that. And insurance is allowed to do that. Insurance is allowed to charge you more based on your gender. Let that sink in for a second. It is the one thing out there that is allowed to discriminate on you based on your gender, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're a male, you'll pay more. Now, there were studies that showed that at the time, the reason women looked like they were better drivers was because they drove less. Back in the 70s and 80s, women drove less than men. The average woman driver had fewer miles per year than the average male driver. But from the insurance company, they don't care about that. They're not insuring you by the mile. They're insuring you for a time period, and you pay for that. So if men drive more, then there'll be more accidents, they pay more. I found marketing to have a similar mindset of they would look at your game, try to decide who was the demographic, and then everyone playing your game was put into some bucket, and then a marketing campaign was created to fit the people in that bucket. Did I always agree with the bucket? No. Often I wasn't in the bucket. I'm hard to market to. I am not the typical 50-something white male. A lot of things that get advertised to me are not things I want. Now, new marketing is getting better, especially online. They're tracing you. They just don't know your age and maybe your zip code. The more they know about you, the more they track where you go, what you look at, what you buy, and then they remember that exactly for you. And I will admit that, these days when I allow ads to reach me, the ads that are getting to me are about chocolate and video games. Great. I've even learned about some video games through advertising campaigns. Usually I hear about them through all the channels that I have in the industry, but occasionally something will come out and I'm like, what is this? I played a game during the pandemic that wasn't an RPG, was an indie game. I just stumbled upon it and I played a ton of it. But at least I'm getting ads that are relevant to me when they get to me, as opposed to 20 years ago where I would get ads for diapers or sports cars, neither of which I was interested in buying. So marketing has gotten better, I think marketing people have gotten better. I can certainly tell you within the last 5 years, I've worked with way better marketing people than I did 20, 30 years ago. But for those out there who are going, yeah, I hate marketing, I hate it. You need it now more than ever. More than ever, you need marketing because there are just too many games coming out. It doesn't matter if you restrict it by platform and by genre. If you have something, special about it that will, get you some interviews and some press, you still need some good marketing. So what I'm trying to say here is marketing is super important and it's gotten better. It's not perfect. And you're going to have to do some work on your side to make sure that the people marketing your game understand the game that you're making and try to have a little control over the marketing campaign so you know that what's being sold is really what your game is about. And I think that's what I wanted to talk about overall in marketing. Just, it's a necessary, not an evil, it's a necessary thing. So try to do good with it.